Hey guys, it's Isabella here. We are back for another book review. So for this book review, we are going to be reviewing The Troop by Nick Cutter. I don't even know where to even begin with this book. It took me such a long time to finish it because it is 50 chapters. It doesn't look like it's that much, but it's very, very descriptive. If you see how long each page is, it's very descriptive. I can't exactly remember how I did these. It's been a minute since I've done a book review because it took me such a long time to fucking finish this book. Do I give it a rating? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm still working out the kinks. I apologize. So, The Troop by Nick Cutter. So it says, once a year, Scoutmaster Tim Riggs leads a troop of boys into the Canadian wilderness for a weekend camping trip. Tradition and comforting and reliable as a good ghost story around a roaring bonfire. But when unexpected intruder stumbles upon their campsite, shockingly thin, disturbingly pale, and miraculously hungry, Tim and the boys are exposed to something far more frightening than any tale of horror. The human carrier of a bioengineering nightmare, and a horror that spreads faster than fear. A harrowing struggle for survival with no escape from the elements, the affected, or one another. So that's the description. This book was actually $18 when I bought it at Barnes & Noble on my birthday. But I did give this a 9 out of 10, and just because of how deeply disturbing and uncomfortable I was while reading the entire thing. Also, that was another reason why it took me so long, is because of how uncomfortable it made me feel. I don't know, I still don't know how to do these without giving out any spoilers, but basically the whole purpose or problem of this story is pretty much about tapeworms. It's pretty much about, like, where these people try to create a magical weight loss pill that involves tapeworms. That unfortunately goes wrong, and then once you read it, you'll find out why. It goes back and forth between, I think this goes back and forth between a present, past, and future point of views. It's mostly present, or technically I think it's mostly past because the present is interviews with the people that created the magical weight loss pill, aka the tapeworms. So it kind of switches back and forth of point of views, but it is very descriptive, and it does get kind of lost in translation a little bit and does get quite confusing here and there. But as soon as you read it all and continuously to read on, it starts to get more better as time. I'm trying to figure out the word. It does get better at explaining itself as you read on, but it's very hard to explain because of how just deeply disturbed and uncomfortable I was while reading it. Because also chapters, because at first when you start reading it, you don't really think much of it, and then you get to know a lot about these boys' lives. Now, give or take, these boys are 14 years old. There's also a lot of backstories about these boys. And one of the boys I don't like at all. His name is Shelly. He's a little psychopath. Because if you are easily triggered by animal abuse, there is a little section about that in here. It is on it's through chapters 20 through 30. It does explain a little bit about animal abuse, which I had the hardest time getting through because I cannot read or get through any kind of story that has to do with animal abuse, because especially when it comes to little kitties, I can't get through it at all because it makes me so upset. It makes me so sad because I don't know why people do that sort of thing. I could go on a whole tangent rant about that, but maybe once in the future, And when I'm more good in the head, I'll make a podcast and talk about all the random autistic shit going on in my brain. But yes, there's a few little triggers about that, and if you are really queasy and nauseous to things like tapeworms and very descriptive terms of how tapeworms are inside a human body, I probably would not suggest reading this. You kind of really have to have a strong stomach, and you really will have a hard time eating afterwards, because I did once I finished reading it. Because, funny story, when I was at my friend's house, we went to this Chinese place, and I just ordered vegetable fried rice, and it had bean stalks in it. Those bean stalks looked like tapeworms, and I couldn't get through it, and I was laughing the entire time because I had just finished reading that morning. But even though it was hard to get through, I got through it, and the ending, I wouldn't say the ending was a cliche. One of my cliches I thought was that all the boys would just die on the island that they were at, or the campsite. But that didn't turn out to be true. But it is kind of a cliche because, it's like, you'll see it once you read it. I don't want to spoil the ending. But yeah, I quickly just wanted to get through this book because I have so many others that I want to read and so many others that I want to buy. I did also download this app if you're interested in it. It's called Bookmori. Pretty much you get to track down all the books you are reading and are currently reading. It gives you like a timer where you can start reading. You can exit the app while you can do other shit too because the timer goes on. But you can time how long you read and then go through all the chapters and then go through what chapters or what page you're on, and then you can leave notes. And then once you're done, you can hit done with it. You can see the calendar of like how many books you read. I thought it would be a good app for me to have to kind of get into, because a goal of how many books I want to read. So I think averagely I'm finishing about maybe 2 to 3 books a month, depending on how quickly I want to read them and how short the book is. I want to average about maybe 5 books a month, just because I have so many books that I want to read and get through and figure out and, enjoy. So that's what I want to do. It's a cool app. I think you can get it on any app store. It's just called Bookmori. There's probably also a shit ton of similar books like that, or apps like that you can keep track of. But yeah. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I can really explain. There's also different parts. It kind of goes through parts 1, 2, and 3. I think part 1 is like the beginning or something, or part 1's the Hungry Man. Part 2 is I don't know. Part 2, Infestation, and then part 3, Contagion, and I think that's it. Yeah, and then that's it. So there's 3 parts. It kind of helps splitting it up into parts, so that way you don't kind of get lost into the chapters. But yeah, I can definitely say that I've never ever been close to throwing up or getting very nauseous while reading a book before, or very disgusted and deeply disturbed by a book before. There's many books that I've read where I've gotten creeped out, or it's a cliche, or there's some books I've even cried through. But I think this one takes the cake at number 1 of most book that I have felt deeply disturbed by. Oh no, there's also another one too. I don't remember the name, but I do know it. Girl Last Seen, I think. Something like that. I have it somewhere. It's in my finished book pile, book box. But yes, anyways, we'll see if I find something or have something that's way worse than this. Honestly, I highly doubt it, because I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, and there's nothing on there that's telling me that I will find anything more disturbing and more gross than this book. And it makes me question the author. What the actual fuck? But anyways, as I continue ranting, I highly suggest you go read this and give it a shot. It is a very long read, so it will take a while unless you're really avidly into it. This took me like 2.5 weeks to finish. I'm getting there. But yeah, I think next week, or next book I'm going to read is called Four Found Dead. It's by Natalie Richards. Yeah, Natalie D. Richards. I have a couple of her books here and there. But I hear that she's a very good horror author as well. It's about kids surviving a murder in a abandoned shopping mall in the dark. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, I'll get into that next, and I hope you all enjoy. Be sure to go get yourself this book and check it out and give it a read and tell me what you think. Yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you later.